And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful Corona-free morning and day. Today is Friday, October the 22nd at 5:23 in the morning. How are you doing? So, on my way to the gym, figured I'd get that out there just in case someone is thinking, hey, what are you doing at 5:23 in the morning? That's what I'm doing. I'm on my way to the gym. But anyway, I've been doing a lot of thinking lately as far as how to optimize myself in comedy, my performance and stuff like that. And this is speaking not just internally, but sort of externally, maybe something that you yourself may find useful. But part of the whole cycle of comedy that I lack the most, actually, it's one is definite, two is debatable, but it's marketing. When I go to shows, when I'm out in the streets and I'm talking to everyone, and I got my like a contact card that has all my Instagram info, and I'm always meeting people and adding this and adding that. Two things is a must. You gotta sell tickets, and you gotta advertise yourself. I know I have greatly been failing in that aspect of marketing. And I was thinking the other day, I guess that's why people get like a manager or promoter, not because they can't do it themselves, but the thing is like, you can kind of like hire a contractor, or at least just get a friend, or whatever the case, provided by you're actually worth the value and you're not abusing that value, because maybe the equivalent of what they're great at, whether it's just from a work ethic and they know a lot about it, or if it's something that they really love to do, or both. Okay, you might love to do something, but that doesn't mean that they even put any interest in actually learning the skill set behind it. But anyway, which is marketing, that other people either consult or hire or get people to do it for them. That way you do have that void filled, and I don't really have the money to have somebody doing marketing for me, but I gotta close that gap, because when I go out on stage, everybody is completely different, and I truly believe that I always set myself aside from everyone else, because I'm always trying to take the most unique angle about something. I've said this before and I'll say it again. When I do comedy, I do it in one of two aspects. I do it either a completely unique story, and you're just like on the edge of your seat listening to every single detail. And it's so unique because, it hasn't really happened to you before, or it's just a crazy story and you want to hear every single like twist and turn about it. Or something that everybody can relate to, but it's such from like a unique angle that it keeps your interest. Those are the two dynamic blocks that I use for all of my storytelling, all of my comedy. And it remains true to me. Maybe somebody else does something different, but that's what I do. And I got this thing about clapping that I'm working on, and I really like it a whole lot. It's about 15 minutes just having to do with clapping and the dynamics behind it. And it gets people thinking, and they laugh, and it's funny, and they start laughing more when they start realizing like who made the rules. Like, it's just such a weird thing. But anyway, don't take what I said. You can relay the information. Say it came from me though. But it's just, yeah, talking about something that's not funny at all, making everybody laugh, is the proof of purchase that what I worked on does work. So, but I did like a comedy show just a few days ago. I was in Dallas. It was just an open mic, but it was a material that I already knew that worked. And it was funny because the people that I tried to make laughed. There were other comedians there. The majority of people weren't comedians. And comedians, in my opinion, because we have such like this is how I kind of phrase it, you know, or how I explain it. It's not that I don't think comedians are hard to make laugh, so to speak. It's just that I know I'm so specific to what I like, to a very fine detail. It's very hard for me to laugh because I have a very specific, like, kind of a sense of humor. Pretty dark, aggressive, whatever. So when I hear people like that, that's what makes me laugh. But if you're not so refined as to the precise exactness of what you like, and you're a lot more broad in that aspect, you might like comedy from a lot of different people, a lot of different styles, kind of like music, you know? So that's what I think what's going on with comics. I think it's I think it's harder to make a comic laugh that's another comic, because they're so into it. It's kind of like the equivalent of, like, how passionate do you think a guy who was on a baseball team professionally would watch someone else, you know, like the Yankees versus two teams going at it in baseball. They're probably not going to go to the actual stadium when they're not working, while they're out of town on vacation. You know what I mean? That's like their place of work, and they're there all the time. So why would they go? I don't ever see current football guys on the roster in the stadium watching other teams in the stadium. You get what I'm saying? So in that aspect, when you're a part of that industry, when you're a part of that art, when you're a part of that craft, I feel like you're so involved, because you're no longer a spectator, and you're already in that realm of creativity and stuff. You participate less as a spectator. Because even when I'm in the audience, if I'm listening to somebody tell jokes, I don't consider myself a spectator, you know, like an attendee of the performance. I consider myself as an artist, and I'm there. If I ever go watch live comedy, it's to try to learn something from someone that I already vibe with and relate with, that I can sort of like see a technical aspect. That's what I'll do sometimes. I feel like you got to study what you love, you know? So, some days when I'm working on comedy, it might actually be watching others that I really emulate, and that, I just really like a lot. And I'll just kind of be loose and open to see if I can notice anything that they do. And it almost always works. I always see, like, a technical aspect of, like, something they're doing at the microphone, or the way they're explaining stories, or the way they interact with a crowd. I mean, all sorts of technical aspects. And I feel like the more and more you watch comedy, the more you can pick up on these technical aspects. And you're not really even looking for them. It's kind of like it when you open up, like, a pantry and you know you want to eat something, but you don't really, yes, I said a pantry, not your refrigerator, but you're not really sure what you want to eat. And then you see all these ingredients, you know, and you just say, that this would be nice, that would be it. But it doesn't, not until, like, you're looking at everything, does it really kind of hit you what you're looking at. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, this would be good, that would be good. So, you know, if more people knew about comedy in the inside, which is part of what this channel is also, I think you could understand what I'm saying a lot more. That's why I try to give examples, you know? Like, I don't ever think, I don't think, like I said, perfect example, even though I'm, like, still working on the translation of explaining it. I don't think you're ever going to see a professional athlete in attendance of another team just to watch that team that they're not on. That's exactly how I feel like when I go to comedy clubs. I go to perform, I leave, I'm done, I love you all, good night. If I shake hands, take pictures of people after, that's part of the business too. I get it. But, yeah. And the other thing that I made a comment about as far as kind of lacking is friendships. You know, there's a lot of cliques, there's a lot of networking, there's like Hispanic comedy groups, there's black comedy groups, there's black comedy showcases, there's gay comedy showcases, there's Asian comedy showcases, there's some people, it's not because of ethnicity or their sex or whatever. It's because they're best friends, and it doesn't matter what they look like. I'm new to Texas, okay? And my first year here, I started kind of coming up on the scene. It was really great. Second year, Corona. Boom. Corona hit. And this is kind of like year 2 repeated. And I'm just trying to, I see people now and they're like, oh, I thought you moved, or everyone else here has been here for so many years. They have a lot of roots. So it's easy for them to sell tickets. It's easy for them to get a lot of people to attend a show. They got a whole support system here, and that's great. So I'm also sort of starting from the ground up, which I like. But again, when it comes to networking and marketing and stuff, I know I need to do a better job. So anyway, well, I hope everybody gets something out of this. I try to explain things to the best of my ability, but you got to understand, when you're trying to explain something, it's a new topic. Imagine you wanted to talk to a girl that you really liked. You're going to think about what you're saying. But what if it was someone that you didn't have a daily occurrence with? It was just some beautiful girl that caught your attention in the supermarket, and you're just trying to convey that you want to go out on a date with her, that you like her, whatever the case, something like that, You're going to try to condense things and make things as simple as possible. But especially on that first date, if you try to explain, it sounds like it's always an interesting thing when you're trying to explain something right off the bat, first go, and have somebody understand it. So it may take a couple goes to get your point across. So anyway, with that being mentioned, I hope everybody has a beautiful rest of your day. I know what I got to keep working on, because it is a part of the art. It's a part of the professionalism. It's a part of the whole system of comedy, and not just that, being successful in it. You don't want to be well, I wouldn't, at least. I'm not working to be the world's greatest comedian ever, and also the most unknown. That's like those strong guy competitions. You ever see those strong guy competitions in the Olympics? Maybe there's some guy stronger, but he just didn't try out for the Olympic team. I don't want to be that guy. Some people don't like the spotlights. Me, I don't like or dislike them. I don't care. I just care about what I'm doing on stage. And it doesn't matter to me if it's 12 people or 12,000. It just doesn't matter to me. Numbers wise, it doesn't make a difference, because I'm going to come off the exact way. But I think that's really a good thing, because that means with a group of 12,000, I'm still going to be intimate with them, to where the person in the very, very back is going to feel like they're in the front. And I feel like that's also a key to success, is making everybody feel included. So anyway, I definitely got to network more, and I got to get better at marketing and just getting myself out there, because there's so many guys and girls. Comedy is more popular now, more than ever before, because of the fame and the Spotify and the you name it, whatever. Okay? I feel like a lot of people get into comedy because it's like a quick buck. But in my world, there's no such thing as a day off from who you really are. This is, something just hit my damn car as I was driving. What the heck was that? That was weird. Anyway, but yeah, like I was saying, there's no such thing as a day off from being who you really are. And this is who I really am. So now I just got to help the world know what's up, be aware of it, And that's going to help self-propel myself to be able to do this as a full-time job one day. And that's what I'm always working for. So anyway, getting to know me, I'd really like to get to know y'all. Y'all have a beautiful day. I'm Benja Welldone. Keep staying tuned and check me out. Peace.